Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Artists as Storytellers speaker series. My name is Steph Hankinson, and I'm a humanities and drama faculty member at South Seattle College. And it's my great pleasure to introduce the moderators for today's conversation with worldwide beatboxing and hip hop sensation, Nicole Paris. Before I introduce Paul and Momo and Nicole, I'd like to invite South Seattle College art faculty Amiko Matsuo to offer up a land acknowledgement.
Hi, everyone. We would like to acknowledge that the Artist as Storyteller project is located in West Seattle, the traditional land of the first people of Seattle, the Duwamish people, past and present. We honor with gratitude the land itself and the Duwamish tribe. Members of our team were born and raised on the traditional lands of the Suquamish, Suquamish, Chumash, and Tongva tribes, and we would like to honor the stewardship of these Indigenous peoples whose land and stories we now have the privilege of having been shaped by. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So for those of you that are joining for the first time, I would love to tell you a little bit more about the Artists as Storyteller speaker series. Now, it was fueled by a desire to put BIPOC artists, performers, and activists directly into conversation with students and community to form a new space of human connection and celebration of creativity in all its forms. And so the series focuses on art making and storytelling as a process that relates to the individual and the collective consciousness. And our first season theme, as you saw in the beginning slides, is adaptation, resiliency, and environmental justice in the time of COVID. I'd like to welcome our student moderator, Momo Walton. Momo's a student at South Seattle College, and she takes pride in bonding with her family and traveling all around the world. She loves to cook and learn about different cultures, and she's pursuing a degree in psychology and hopes to start her own clinic, helping children as well as adults live a happier life. Hey, Momo. Our faculty co-moderator is Paul Kikuchi. Paul's a musician and an educator of Japanese and European ancestry. His music ranges from drone and ambient soundscapes to works for traditional Japanese instruments. He draws inspiration from an exploration of personal and collective identities and the desire to build community. Paul leads the music department at South Seattle College, where he's committed to the decolonization of music curricula and the cultivation of lifelong connections to music. What's up, Paul? And finally, it's my great pleasure to welcome Nicole Paris to the Artists as Storyteller series. Nicole's a beatboxing artist, musician, chef, actress, and public figure who gained notoriety with millions of fans when a YouTube battle against her mentor and father, Edward Cage, went viral within hours of its release. Mixing vibrantly energetic and unique beats, Nicole's freestyle initially gained worldwide acclaim. Or instantly gained worldwide acclaim. Initially and instantly gained worldwide acclaim. Born and raised in Missouri, Nicole's appreciation for beatboxing and developing her own unique sounds began at an early age. After graduating from Johnson & Wales University in Charlotte, North Carolina, she returned home to be acclaimed as the best female beatboxer in St. Louis. She quickly gained a strong local and a regional following. Today, she's recognized among a new crop of hip hop artists that is changing the face of music as we know it. So Paul, Momo, and I have been huge fans of Nicole's work for years, and having the chance to sit down and talk with her about her inspiration and creative practice is just totally surreal. As someone who grew up outside of St. Louis, and I love to go back a couple times a year if I can, I'm also just proud that you're here to represent and share the amazing sound culture and creative energy that's coming out of the STL. So welcome, 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 Nicole.
What's up?
Welcome, Nicole. I'm so excited to be here with you. Thank you so much for agreeing to being part of our series. We're all so honored to be able to be in conversation with you today. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good, and thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you. But yes, I'm doing good. I'm doing wonderful. Awesome.
Awesome. And I'm psyched to have one of our esteemed students, Momo, here with us today too. Momo, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I'm excited. I'm a fan, and I'm just so excited for everybody to be watching. Such a great person.
Nice. Yeah, I've been looking forward to this conversation so much. And I thought I would start just by talking a little bit about my experience of discovering Nicole's music. It was really pretty much by chance, just scrolling through my social media feeds, and I saw Mentor vs. Apprentice 2, and my jaw immediately was just like on the floor. I was an immediate super fan.
Oh, thank
and
you.
and you know, as a musician for many years, as a music teacher, I get asked a lot, just like, what are you listening to? What are you inspired by, right? What's influencing you these days? And over the last couple of years, Nicole, like I've sent links to your music more than anything else that I've sent people. And, you know, as I've been prepping for this event, I've been thinking about like, what is it? You know, what is it that really inspires me so much about your music and has really compelled me to share your work with people so much? And, you know, from a pure music geek standpoint, I could look to your use of theme and variation and how you can take a freestyle and just use so much restraint to develop it up and then just drop into the dopest drop and the dopest beats you can imagine. Your use of space, your use of movement, how kinetic your freestyles are, like all of these things are so inspiring to me as a musician. But you know, when I really started thinking about it, I think it goes beyond just those music geek things that I can talk about. It's really about how your music makes me feel. And I think that especially within this last year of COVID and just all the anxieties we've all been experiencing, like I keep coming back to your videos because they just bring me joy. Like it just brings me straight to the present moment and it brings me joy. And I'm sure that a lot of our audience and a lot of people who already know your work feel that way too. It's so much more than just the different parts that make up your brilliance as a performer. It's that there's just a level of joyousness in the sounds you make and in your music that keeps me coming back. So I just wanted to say thank you for, you know, giving me that through this challenging last year. And I know that, well, you can see by the millions of views on your videos, right, that you do that for other folks as well. So Thank you for this gift to the world that is your music.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Paul. Oh my God. Thank you so. Listen, I am literally in the same boat as you and all of the other million people that has viewed that video. I am amazed myself. Half the time I'm just like, I am applaud. I'm like, how is this even possible? I can't even believe in myself. The things that comes out of my mouth, the beats, the sounds, the movements, the drops. Oh my God, the drops that I've just be doing. It amazes me too. But thank you so much, Paul. It brings just joy and just warmth to my heart to know that it not only moves millions of people, but it also moves you. You know, I love to hear that the things that I do, as far as what comes out of my mouth, brings joy to people, especially nowadays, you know. So yes, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. And you know, before we go too much deeper into our conversation, there might be some people in our viewership right now who actually don't know your work. And so I want to make sure that we kick this off from the beginning, showing some of your work. We're going to be showing an excerpt of Mentor vs. Apprentice 2. And Steph mentioned in your introduction that you initially kind of went viral on YouTube, right, with this beatbox battle series that you did with your father, AKA Pops, Edward Cage. Yep. And that was the first introduction I had to your work. So we're gonna take a little over, about 2.5 minutes to watch an excerpt of this classic video of yours, and then we'll dive into the conversation. Momo's gonna jump in after the video and get the conversation started. All right.
Awesome.
So
enjoy, everyone.
Let me cue up this video, and we'll take it.
messed up.
You stop too. My turn.
Smash that. For God I live, for God I die. For God I live, for God I die. For God I live, for God I die. For God I live, this is no battle. Ha! Ha! Wait, but didn't I defeat you already? Capture that. Round two, no more. Round two, one. Round two, kick, one, two, kick, pick him up, kick, rocks. Put helmet in the finish. Finish on that. Ha!
That was amazing.
That drop, that breath. Oh my God.
That was amazing. I appreciate everything you do. I think most of all, what's inspiring is the bond between you and Pops.
Yeah.
That is amazing. I love the bond. It sends more than a message than what just comes out your mouth. It's amazing.
Oh,
I love that.
Thank you, Momo. Thank you.
So, and that video has got over 8 million views. 8 million views. But you are an international star. How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel, I'm not gonna, I mean, normal, normal. I'm not a, oh my God, I got a lot of people, I use it to my advantage. And my advantage is getting messages out, and just spreading love, Momo. Honestly, just spreading love. That's how I use it to my advantages. But at first when the video went viral, I was like, what in the goddess is happening? What the heck? I got the video when it was getting views and things like that. It was in the middle of the night. So I woke up to my phone. Ding, 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 ding. I'm like, what is going on? What is going on? And so yeah, it makes me feel just, the same.
That's great. Something like this can be totally life-changing. Like, I couldn't imagine getting 8 million views. That is amazing. It amazes
me. And it's still rapping. It's still rapping around the world. Like, that is so crazy. A beatbox video with Pops. Just a beatbox video filmed with a phone. That's crazy.
So in the clip, we saw you was beat battling with your dad, aka Pops. Can you tell us the history with beatboxing and the role that your dad played?
Yeah, so beatboxing is the fifth element of hip hop. Okay, so hip hop, so you have the MC, You have the b-boy, which is the dancer that rolls on the cardboard box and just pull a cardboard box out on the sidewalk and just start dancing. But so you have the b-boy, and then you have the graffiti artist, the DJ, and then it's the beatboxer. So what the beatboxer is in charge of is emulating the DJ. So the 808 machines, anything that the DJ does, the scratching and everything. So that's what beatboxing is. Now, I came to know beatboxing through Pops, as you said. And the story is, okay, so I was I wasn't even born. I was being formed, but I wasn't even born. So what happened was, when my mom was pregnant with me, my dad, he had about 4 jobs at the time. And he didn't have a lot of time with us, because he was working. So every night, morning, he comes home, he will beatbox to my mom's stomach. And while I was in my mom, now this story is all told to me from them. Okay, so anyway, so he would come home at night or morning, whenever he get off work, and he would beatbox to my mom's stomach. And while I was in my mom's stomach and he was beatboxing to me, I used to move around in my mom's stomach, just start, moving and all that stuff. I personally think I was a b-boy or b-girl while in my mom's womb, but that's just me. But anyway, so he used to beatbox to my mom's stomach while I was he used to beatbox to my mom's stomach while I was in the womb. Okay. So after that, okay, so I'm born. Okay, so I'm born, right? And again, he had a lot of jobs. So he had different bonds with me and my siblings. So I'm not the only child, I'm the middle. I have an older brother and a younger sister. So he didn't have a lot of time to spend with us because he was working so much. So the bond that he had with my older brother was sci-fi, like, Star Wars, Transformers. Oh, you guys, Pops watch Star Wars every day. It drives me insane, you guys. I kid you not. Okay, anyway, so it was sci-fi, and then with me was beatboxing, and with my younger sister was politics. So, okay, so out the womb, after I was born, he would beatbox, he'll sit me on the table. And he'll just sit me there and he'll just start beatboxing in front of my face, and I guess I was moving. I don't remember, I'm a baby. So I guess I was moving. And so at the age of, fast forward, at the age of 13 was my first performance, live performance. And it was at a talent show at my school. So I signed up for the talent show. I had no idea what I was getting ready to do. I don't know what I was getting ready to do, but I signed up. Went home that same day, bust the door open. Surprisingly, he was home. And he said, "What are you doing busting down the door? What are you doing busting down the door?" I said, "Pops, I signed up for the talent show." And then he said, "Okay, that's good. What do you want to do?" I said, "Well, you're going to teach me how to beatbox." So, because at that time, I didn't remember how he taught me, I was a baby. So the first beat that he taught me was Paul Revere, which is, so that's the first beat that he has ever taught me. It took me a whole week to get that beat down and to learn how to beatbox. So he taught me how to beatbox. And at the talent show, now after that week, I did not practice or anything. So I went to the talent show and I just started adding stuff. I don't know what the heck I was doing, you guys. I was so lost. I was like, okay, I don't know. And then the kids, the teachers were clapping off beat. Oh man, that drives me so crazy. That drove me so crazy, you guys. I was like, oh my God, please get on beat. They never got on beat, so I started adding stuff and going fast. So yeah, Pops taught me how to beatbox. So that's the role Pops plays in my life.
Awesome. Thanks so much for sharing that history, Nicole.
No problem.
And thank you, Momo, for engaging Nicole in those questions. I realized I forgot to mention at the beginning as well that we're going to have a Q&A period at the end of this event. So if you're in the audience right now and you have questions for Nicole, you are welcome to put them into the Q&A in the Zoom box. But you're also just welcome to hold on to them because there's a chance that we'll be answering your questions as we go through this conversation too. So you could just get your questions kind of queued up, and then once we dive into that Q&A, you'll be ready to ask. So just wanted to put that out there. Nicole, I'm so glad that you gave us a bit of a history of beatboxing more generally. And my next question really is, it's about that. It's about the sounds you use, what I would consider sonic vocabulary, right? It's like, what are the sounds that you have in your arsenal that you're using? And I think the thing that really interests me is like the foundational sounds that are, say, part of the beatboxing canon, right? Like you just gave us one example of one, as opposed to the sounds that you're inventing and you're innovating yourself. And so I guess my question is like, what is that balance of tradition and innovation in your sounds, in your sonic vocabulary? And could you maybe give us an example? I mean, you already gave us one example of a very like foundational core beat, right? But what about, could you give us maybe an example of something that you feel like represents your innovating or pushing those boundaries as well?
Yeah, awesome question. So the style that I do is very freestylish. So I remember when the video went viral, I had a lot of backlash from a lot of the community. And this is also going back when my pops started teaching me how to beatbox. So the problem with my style that they had was it was not traditional. So basically they were putting a title on what my gift should be, how I should do it, when I should do it, who should I go through. And so nowadays, so it is now titled as EDM. A lot of people know beatboxing by EDM. And so that's not me at all. So people tend to expect EDM sounds. I don't do EDM. I am very free, like I'm very freestylish. So some of the traditional sounds is EDM. So the so it's that whole rave thing. Now when my pops taught me how to beatbox, it was a lot of bass because he's a man, you know, his bass is just really deep. My bass is not there, okay? It's not there. So I tend to just really do me. I don't stick to tradition sounds. And the sounds that I get, I compose sounds that I don't even remember how to do the sounds half of the time, you guys. So traditional sounds, I tend to stay away from. and I try to give people something different. And I don't like to be in a box. Tradition sounds like in the box, you know. So, and I don't like being in the box. So, but yeah, tradition is not me. But in beatboxing today, the traditional sounds for beatboxing is EDM.
Yeah. Great. Super interesting to hear you reflect on that. And I loved, like, when we were talking the other day too, I love that you're like, yo, I'm surprised by these sounds as they come out of my mouth too. And it just shows how, you know, how present you are with letting that creativity emerge. And I think that's so amazing that, like, you're almost observing yourself in this process as well, right?
Yes. You know what? Listen, I go back to all of my videos that I do, and I watch them, and it's like I get surprised every time I watch the video. Like, come on, Nicole, I know what you're getting ready to do. Like, but I still get excited every time I watch the same video. It's like, what the heck? But the sounds, it's just, Paul, you know what? The beats, the sounds, I like to call the sounds from heaven. Right. So I do not know, like, I can just tap and just make a whole song off of that one tap and just start adding stuff in. And by the time I'm done at the end, it's like 4 hours. I'm like, dog, because I can go for a very long time.
Oh, I believe you.
Yeah, I mean, I can beatbox until I have no more saliva stuck in me. So I can beatbox your ears off. I know I drive my mom crazy, but yes, I can beatbox for a very long time. But yes, it definitely, the things that I do, the compilations, the drops, it amazes me. Like, a lot of people say, "Oh my God, how can you do that?" I don't know. I will inform you with that information as soon as I know, because it is amazing. So yeah, Paul.
Yeah, and you know, like what you're talking about, Nicole, like, musicians have said this for hundreds of years, that they are just a vessel that channels the music through them, right? When they're really feeling it, they're just channeling it through, right?
Yes. Don't even realize that they have been composing for overnight, for like some can even go like 24 hours. Now, I'm not doing no 24 hours.
So a follow-up, you know, as far as your innovations, you mentioned in your short beatboxing history that beatboxing initially, right, is emulating the DJ, right? It's emulating that 808 beat, it's emulating that drum break. The thing that I've found so, like, amazing about your work is that I feel like you're now really blending the role of the MC within that role of the DJ, because you're not only creating beats, but you're interspersing narratives within those beats. And my mind just, like, melts trying to understand how you're actually maintaining those beats while also bringing in those narratives. And I think maybe before we talk about that, if it's okay with you, I'm going to play just a short clip of Mentor vs. Apprentice 5, where there's just a short segment where you're just throwing down really hard. And I want to have the audience be able to see that, to give some context before we talk about it. Does that sound all right?
Awesome. Sounds good. Go for it.
Cool.
Stop the bridges over. Skip. Are you a philosopher? Yes. Kill. No. Skip. Ruggedy aftermath. Are you a philosopher? Yes. Yes. The bridge is off. 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 It was never built.
So can you tell us a little about, like, how do you pull that off? Like, there's so much going on there.
Oh, so the talking in the beatboxing, believe it or not, you guys, that came when I was in college. So the whole adding in words in my beatbox, a lot, well, actually all the time, all the time. There is always a message. Every time I beatbox, there's always a message. There will always be a message, period. You can feel, or you can feel what the message is through either words or the beats that I do. So, for example, if it's like a slow beat, like I'm sad. If it's a I'm getting excited. Now, hold on to your seats, okay? Because when I go, I'm happy. I am excited. I am there. You better sit down. This is going to be a long time. It's going to be a long ride. So every beat, every sound, every movement, it is always a message, and you will always feel that message. Everybody that watches the videos or watches me live will always go away with some type of feel or vibe or mood after you experience the sounds and the words that comes out of my mouth that I compose.
Awesome.
Yeah,
That's beautiful. I love that. And actually, Nicole, it's a really great transition. Momo, I think just for the sake of time, I'm going to jump past one of our questions, because I think Nicole, just in mentioning like embedding message into her freestyles, I think is a really nice segue into your next questions. So let's do that, because I want to make sure we also are leaving time at the end for our audience to ask Nicole questions also.
awesome. Thank you, Paul.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so what are some of the political commitments of your work? Like, do you see your work as a form of social justice or activism?
So believe it or not, Momo, you are actually literally the first person to ever ask me about politics inside of what I do. So the answer to that is I am not political whatsoever. Everything that I do, every beat, every sound, every composition that I do, it is for everybody. It is not to a specific group. It is to everybody that needs to hear, or that has the ear to hear, right? So as far as social justice or activism, it's neither. It is simply to touch the hearts that needs to be touched.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. So we have been in a pandemic for over a year now. So since the pandemic, what has changed for you, and how have you coped with this new reality?
Oh Lord. Spitting everywhere, getting on mom and pop's nerves. I mean, just working their nerves. We have jam sessions 22 hours. We got to leave them extra hours to eat and sleep a little bit, take a little nap. But yes, anyway, so on a serious note, I have really honed, if I can say that, my creativity. So what I mean by that is, you guys, I just beatbox. That's what it boils down to. I'm not even gonna get deep or nothing. I just beatbox, you guys. I beatbox until I can't beatbox no more. There it is. So that's how the pandemic helped me, is by beatboxing and working on a lot of projects.
Well, since you beatbox all day, you wouldn't mind giving us a little something, something.
Of course, I'm always beatboxing, cat like cat, ups, cat, the pump, cat, up. It's a Pokemon, Pokemon, it's a Pokey, quick, be quick, let me out. L-O-V-E, love. Laugh. It's like a funky. It's a done. That was actually tight at the end because that drop, it went. Or I could probably add.
Yes.
Yeah, I love it.
Oh, we are so lucky to get a live freestyle from Nicole Paris right now. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Thank you.
Nicole, before we jump into some of our questions from the audience, and I'll also just put it out there, this is a great time if you're in our audience, go ahead. If you have questions for Nicole about anything about her work, feel free to submit them and we'll try to get them asked. But just one thing I wanted to ask you after hearing you freestyle like that, Nicole, is this question of like improvisation and composition, or like structure and freedom. So you've said a couple times already today, like you have a very freestyle approach, right? Which I would imagine means like you don't have a whole lot of idea of the structure before you dive in. But I'm wondering if you could elaborate a little bit more about like how much structure do you have when you start a freestyle that you're working from, or like basic sounds that you're working from, or is it really more based in improvisation, like it just emerges as you go?
Yeah, so Paul, I am a freestyler all the way. I have no idea what I will be saying. I don't even know what I'll be saying. I don't know the sounds. I don't know the beats, the drops. I have no idea. I compose as I go. So I am a extremely improv person. I would have to say I don't really have any limits. I mean, I don't really have any like limits or anything. I just go. I go. I think the only thing that may hold me back is if I get sleepy. That is about it.
Then it's gonna be a really slow beat, huh?
Yeah, that'd be, you know what? The sleepy beat would be no beat at all. I mean, I'm sleeping.
Oh, I wanted to hear what the sleepy beat sounded like, but I guess it's just silence. Huh?
The sleepy beat. I mean, I'm asleep. I'm snoring.
Awesome. Thank you for that answer. Momo, I think I'll turn it over to you to see if you want to field any of these audience questions we're getting, and see what we have going on in our audience Q&A.
Yes. So we have a question from the audience, and it says, fellow Missourian here from St. Louis. How do you think being and living in St. Louis informs and inspires your work?
Ooh, that's a deep question. I would have to go with my pops, because this is where it all originated from. My pops, born and raised St. Louis, Missouri, he taught me how to beatbox. So I would have to say the inspiration comes from the roots of him.
Okay, another question. Questions are coming in. Are you ready? Okay, so did you always have aspirations to be an author, or was this something that opened up for you after your YouTube video series went viral?
Awesome question. Yes. I wanted to be an author after the video went viral. I wanted not only to tell my story through the beats, but I also wanted to tell them on paper as well, and really get to children. But of course, the books is also geared towards whoever has a ear to hear and a heart to receive. So
a lot of people don't know that about you, that you actually are an author.
yes, I am an author.
So many different hats.
Yes, the first book will be this year.
Nice. I'll be waiting.
Yep, this year. Yep.
So another question from the audience is, do you rap as well or create beats in any other ways?
Shoot, I hope so. I really want to rap. No, you guys, I cannot rap. I cannot rap, you guys, but no, I cannot rap. I mean, I can go, check it. I'm looking at the wall. Stop playing. I may not fall. So that's how close to rap I'm gonna get. Other than that, I just sing.
Okay. So what are some major themes of your work?
Major themes? Themes are like things, like
no, the themes.
I don't understand the question. I'm sorry. I don't understand the question, Momo.
Yeah, so that's all it says. What are some major themes of your work?
Major, yeah. I'm sorry. I don't understand
work with themes.
Yeah.
Probably not.
I think maybe in a way, I feel like you kind of answered that when you spoke to just wanting to bring people joy, right? I mean, I think that maybe that's kind of what the person is asking, but I feel like you've already kind of answered that you're just trying to bring people joy through the sounds, right? And if
I'm just trying to bring people joy, and like I said, I just want people to be able to feel some type of way, in a positive way, after they have experienced my live performance or just the videos or whatever that is attached to me, because I feel like that it's well needed, especially nowadays, so yeah, so I just want to bring joy, love, happiness, newness, unheardness, and awareness.
Well said.
Momo, do you mind if I hop in really quick? Because I realized I have a question for Nicole that I didn't ask, and I need to ask it.
Go ahead, Paul.
Sorry, I'm really curious, Nicole, about do you differentiate practice with freestyling? Like you said, I mean, it's pretty clear that you spend a lot of time beatboxing, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm just curious whether are there things that you actually will consciously be like, I'm going to practice this thing now, or this sound now, mm-hmm. or does it all just kind of emerge like as you're freestyling and then you incorporate it? Like, what's that process like for you?
Yeah, awesome question. So the projects that I do or that I have previously done, such as an opera called Sweet Potato Kicks the Sun, I I had to practice that, but I did not have to practice my beats, my sounds. All of it was improv. And then movies. Basically, the answer to that, Paul, is no, I don't practice. I don't practice when it is not expected for me to practice. There are some projects that I do practice though, like the opera and movie that I do. And that's about it, honestly, Paul.
Yeah.
Everything,
Yeah.
I mean, because a lot of people that contacts my manager, they already know what I am about. I freestyle. So they come with that knowledge of what I do. So it's not really a big deal to them if I practice or not. But I mean, either way, I still wouldn't practice if they did. Because it's like, you guys, I'm not going to remember this. So it's like, I don't remember. So yeah.
Well, I think it's, to me, it's really interesting to hear your answer to that, because to me, it calls into question the whole concept of what practice even is, right? Because obviously, like over the years of being a practitioner, you've advanced your craft so much, right? But you've done it in a way, it's almost like, I see it almost like your practicing is incorporated. It's like integrated in with your freestyling, because you'll find a new sound, and that new sound will then become part of your vocabulary, right? So it's like, I love it because to me, it feels almost like, so many musicians think about, oh, I have to go to the practice room and practice this stuff. But your approach seems so much more organic, and that you're like, it's integrated in with your freestyling. And I love that.
Yeah. Paul, I often think, I tell myself, how can you practice your gift? If you start to think about it, like, what is a gift? A gift, it was given, like, a gift is like given to you, right? So it's like, so I already know how to do this gift, so, but a lot of people like to take it up a level and practice, and sometimes practice is not practice to a lot of people. Some of it is just like good for therapy, something like that. So yeah, Paul.
Awesome. Thank you for that. Super interesting.
No problem.
I'm not going to take up more space myself here, Momo. I'm going to pass it back to you. Thank you for indulging me in one more question.
No problem, Paul. Thank you.
Okay, so some more questions from the fans. So have you ever collaborated with any other artists or singers, dancers, rappers, or is there a particular person or someone you want to collab with?
Yeah, so I try to stay away from collaborating with other beatboxers, only because I do not battle. I don't battle at all. That is something that is very known in today's beatboxing community. I feel as though, so the reason why I do not battle is because I feel like everybody wants a title, and you can't put a title on your gift, right? So it's like, it has been like that for years. Like, people, first of all, say for example, Momo, you are a beatboxer, right? You beatbox and we're battling, right? It seems to me like, if we're battling and say for example you won, that's like you telling me that your gift is better than my gift. Or if I win, it's like me saying my gift is better than your gift. And I think it's really time out for all of this, who's better, and just do the thing, just do the thing, my gift is not going to be your gift, or your gift is not going to be my gift, so yeah, I don't battle. But the people that I would like to work with will be Missy Elliott, Prince, Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson, and that is about it. So yeah, and as far as like in the gospel realm, it would have to be a lot of the old school singers. So like Yolanda Adams, and Vicky Winans. So yeah, so those are the people that I would love to work with. As far as collaborating with dancers, I mean, I love collaborating with dancers. I like to see that different angle as far as in the beatboxing, because dancing is also a part of the 5 elements. So I love to see what people come up with as far as dancing to the beats that I do. So yeah.
You said Missy Elliott. That will be so dope.
Her dope.
Beats mixed with your beats.
That will be dope. Now I have collaborated with 2 other beatboxers, but it was Dougie Fresh and Rozelle, but that was at the BET Hip Hop Awards, and that was a cypher, so that wasn't a battle at all. That was more of a cypher, like to showcase what you can, what we all do and stuff. So that was amazing. Well, first of all, Pops just acting dramatic. Oh my God, because Dougie Fresh and Rozelle comes from his era, right? And Pops being dramatic. I'm like, sir, relax. It is a human being. I'm like, oh my God. Hey, Dougie Fred, what's going on? Are we ready to film it? I am not starstruck at all. Pops is not starstruck at all, but I think he was starstruck on a lot of the old school hip hoppers, MCs and beatboxers and things like that that comes from his era. So yeah, I don't even know how I got on this subject, but yes.
That is hysterical. I love it.
I love it. Okay, one more question. So tell us about your work as a chef.
Oh, you guys. So as a chef, so before the video went viral in 2015, I was actually a chef at a hotel here in Missouri. I actually went to college, culinary arts at Johnson & Wales University, graduated in 2012. And what I do now is extremely unexpected. I was actually on the way of opening a chain of restaurants, but that obviously is on the back burner now. But at this moment, as far as restaurants opening, I am now in talks with opening up a restaurant in Texas. So what I did before this is definitely still in my life, and that is actually a bond that I share with my pops as well. So cooking will always be in my life here on out.
Nicole, thanks for speaking to that, because I was really interested to ask you that as well. Because I actually started out in culinary school myself before I switched to going to music school. And I've worked in a lot of restaurants, and one of the things I always found working in restaurants, especially in kitchens, is there's so many musicians working in there always.
Oh, yes.
I don't know if that's been your experience too, but I feel like there's definitely a connection there, right? In that creativity of being a chef and being in kitchens with creating music.
Listen, Paul, every time I cook, music is always on. I don't care what's going on in nowhere. Music is always going on. Cooking, I don't know, like it brings calmness to the kitchen, because kitchen, like the kitchen can get You know, you got bread loaves flying around here, sauce popping all on your face, your lips, your ear about to get burnt off, toenails barely making it because you've been standing for 70 billion years, you know. So the music just brings calmness to the atmosphere, to the kitchen, you know. So yeah, it's very relaxing. And the best time to cook is in the middle of the night because it's so quiet.
Oh yeah, I hear you. Thank you. I think Momo has one more question to ask, and then we're gonna wrap it up.
Okay. What's up, Momo? Come on, Momo.
So the last question I'm gonna ask. Well, first I want to settle this question: is who has better barbecue, St. Louis or Carolina?
Now, why would somebody ask? See that right there. See, that's the setup. Oh my God. Well, St. Louis was known for the barbecue, but nowadays the barbecue then left. So I'm sorry. Charlotte, I haven't really tasted Charlotte barbecue, to be quite honest. My stay in Charlotte when I was in school was always college meals. So I'm pretty sure a lot of people know what that is. Okay. And then I had moved back to St. Louis, and then I went back out, but then I moved back here. So I didn't really get a chance to taste Charlotte's barbecue. But the one that has the best barbecue so far would have to be Texas. I mean, oh my God, Texas. I'm like, oh, dog, Texas? So yeah, Texas. That wasn't even an option, but Texas.
Texas do got some good barbecue.
Yes.
Okay, so last question. Can you tell us some of your current projects?
Yes, so some of the current projects right now, I am working on an opera called This Is My Body, and that will be premiering in 2022. And then I am working on an album that will be dropping this year, and series of books that I will be dropping this year as well. I'm also working on being the producer of a podcast. The name of the podcast is The Unadulterated Truth, and that will be out in July 1st. And also, I am working on an exclusive movie. The movie is based off of bullying. So
You sound busy, Nicole.
oh yes.
Wow.
Yes, I think I didn't took on a lot of projects than what I could keep up with. So yeah.
Well, it has been such a pleasure to be able to be in conversation with you and Momo. Just wanted to say, before we turn it back over to Steph to close out the event, I just wanted to say thank you so much for sharing your time with us and your gift with us, Nicole. It's been amazing to be able to pick your brain and just share a space with you for this last hour.
Oh, thank you so much, Paul. Thank you so much, Momo. I appreciate it. I hope everybody leaves with positive joy, vibes, and creativity, right? So again, thank you so much, Paul. Thank you, Momo. And everybody that has joined, thank you so much. Steph, I love you. Thank you so much.
Nicole, I love you. This is like, okay, so I can't just say, in the chat, we're getting words like goddess, like inspiration, hero. Like there's so much love flowing through this chat and so much love for you. And I'm so grateful for you joining us today. And you know, I'm so glad you shared a little bit about the projects, because we're gonna have links to all of those available on the Artists and Storytellers website. Y'all can follow Nicole on any of her social media accounts. She's got a YouTube account, of course, right? Where you're going to get her videos, of course.
Mic drop.
Exactly. And Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, the whole thing at real Nicole Paris. And these links will be on the Artist and Storyteller. So anyone that wants to find you and hasn't, follow her, watch this work evolve, be there for the album that's coming out. We can't wait. And please keep in touch with us, keep sharing this with us, because we'd love to just follow your journey and keep sharing that with the community here. And you know, it's just so special, and I'm so grateful for your time and all that you brought to us today. What a gift it is.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.
Anytime, come back. We'll do it again.
Of course. Come on.
So next up, I wanna just like do a little a quick little plug for our next event with Nick Masenke, who's a local Seattle musician and activist. And Nick's work, the conversation we're going to be having about Nick's work is all about self-empowerment, agency, and autonomy through healing, self-love, and transformation through creative agency and their expression of music. So Nicole, of course, you're invited. You're welcome to drop in as well.
I'm gonna be there.
And anyone, you know, if people can't make any of these events, or you'd like to rewatch Nicole's event or any of our previous conversations with Crow Nishimura or Butalino Kipple, the local drag performer, or the local drag performer one, both of those conversations are available on our website too. And so folks can always pop into our site, check out, relive the greatness, or experience it for the first time. And so we're so proud that those are on there. And Nicole, thanks once again for just the best way to spend an afternoon.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for having me, everyone. Thank you, Paul, Momo, Steph, everyone that has joined. I love you guys so much. Much love to you guys, and God bless.
You're the best, Nicole.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Alrighty. Bye.